So this is my updated summer makeup routine. Kind of wish I cleaned my brushes, but I didn't. So we're just gonna see what happens. First, I always start out with prepping my skin. So I already have a base layer of my Merit Instant Glow Serum, and then my my sunscreen. Okay, so then I'm going in with these two favorites, Glowy Super Gel in Sun Glow and Warm Glow tinted moisturizer that I was sent by Bare Minerals. So I've got these on my, just prep my skin a little bit with a primer. So I'm right now using the Upslight technology by Danessa Myricks, and we're just putting it pretty much on all the areas that I get super oily. My Glowy Super Gel, and apply it to the areas that are not super oily. So this kind of is my base layer step for the rest of my skin. And it just kind of gives me that glow that I like. And you'll kind of see it a bit more actually as I continue to add products to it, but it just kind of gives your skin this look of like a natural glow, which I really love. Just that dewy look. So then now I've got my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Moisturizer, and I'm using it in the shade Chestnut. And I really like this because the SPF on it is pretty high, and if you're someone who is prone to dark spots or anything like that, you want a high SPF in the summertime and in the wintertime, and just kind of like all the time. So now I'm just kind of pressing that in with my base brush by Saie, and you'll see that I'll just get this kind of really lovely glow that's not hiding my skin, but it's kind of just accentuating it. So I really like that. So that's my base layer for the most part in the summer. And then we'll just start building on that. First, I have the Complexion Concealer by Merit, and that's where I kind of go in to get any of like the skin complexities that, in my opinion, builds character. We're not trying to look like we have fake skin here. That's just not my intention with anything that I'm personally doing, any makeup that I'm doing. Like, I do makeup to accentuate what already feels very beautiful to me. And so now I'm gonna go in with my Ilia concealer, which is a lighter concealer. And honestly, you do not need a lot. Like, you do not need a lot. Oftentimes I put too much. I'm gonna let that sit for a sec, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start doing my eyebrows, which I haven't laminated in a while, so. Eyebrows done. So I'm gonna start with my MPH palette, which I just like to use if I'm going out at night, because it offers a bit more structure. And I'm just essentially like outlining and like sculpting what I already see. And at the same time, I'm gonna buff in my first concealer. And with these C brushes, you really wanna like press. That's gonna give you the best blending technology for specifically this brush. Okay, so there. And then I'm gonna go in with another bronzer. This time I'm using Merit. We're going a bit darker with this one. This is kind of that like cream bronzing look. And then you just kind of like spread that up by pressing. You don't want any like sharp curves in your makeup, so this just helps to kind of press it in, drag it up. That's the key. And then this, press in. Okay. So there's about like 3 bronzers I think that I end up using, and that was number 2. Base blush. Looks a little something like that. Morphe liquid blush brush, and just patting that in this area. And so I have like an oval shaped face, so for me it's like best to kind of keep it on the high areas of my face. So I'm just gonna be pressing this in, and sometimes it takes a little while, but that's okay. And so this is the blush by Saie, and I use Sweetie, which is probably their most used one. But I love that one. So we're just gonna press that in. Press, 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 press. And so that just gives us a nice like blush base, and then a little bit on the nose, tip of the nose. Blend out my concealer, which takes me kind of a long time. This literally is the longest step of the entire process. But I do find that when I take my time here, it looks significantly more natural, which I appreciate. So we'll cover this, and then we'll move on to the next eye. And I'm just pressing it into the eye at the crease and dragging it down. So something I have noticed, you know, I feel like I went through a period where I was like obsessed with makeup for a second, and I actually think it was just my spirit getting ready to be on camera more and more, and kind of having this newfound respect for essentially like giving a look for camera. And so it's just really interesting that the whole makeup phase started probably around February, and then I got this media job offer in May, so it was kind of like perfect timing, because now, like, had I gotten this media job before I figured out how to do my makeup, I feel like I would have been so stressed. Like, I just would have been like, what do I even do? Like, how do I even go about this? I just wouldn't even have known. So it's really good for me personally that I got this media job after. So now I'm going in with Merit in Raspberry Beret on the cheek. It's just really good that I got this job, like, after I figured out how to beat my face, because, bro, that would have been really, really rough for me. Like, so I guess I could just use this time to, like, talk about the podcast. So originally the job offer was essentially for a contributing editor position, and they essentially found me and wanted more of like an authoritative voice on the podcast. And so I came out and was like, okay, like, for sure, I would love to help you guys buffer out your wellness content. And they were searching for someone who could not only like write, but could also be a voice on the podcast that they were doing. So like basically be a co-host. And so they reached out to me about that co-hosting position, which came with the editor position. And it just was like perfect. It aligned perfectly. The magazine is based in New York, but there's like 3 co-hosts. One lives in New York, between New York and London, and then one lives in LA. So it's kind of like we'll be on this different kind of recording schedule. It'll be really interesting. I'm excited to just start learning more about it. We haven't really gotten the ball rolling for the podcast really at all yet. So I'm now setting with Tower 28's setting powder, just where I get oily. But yeah, we haven't started recording. We haven't even signed contracts for the podcast yet. All we've done is a chemistry testing, and the chemistry testing went really well. So we all, for the most part, like, had a really great time recording it. It was super fun. Going in with a powdered bronzer now by Saie. So yeah, so it's all just, it's very new. I knew pretty much probably at the end of med school that I was going to end up in media. I just didn't really know how to do it. And everyone was telling me to, you know, go this really specific path. I love how this bronzer warms up my face. Like, it's just the perfect combo. But yeah, I just really didn't know like what to do. And everyone was giving me all this advice, and people were absolutely freaking me out. Like, just so many people freaking me out. And I just couldn't like I think I was just so scared that I really couldn't get my intuition to like come online with trying to figure out like what I needed to do. And so it was just best for me personally to get absolutely just kicked out of where I was comfortable, which is what happened when I got sick. So yes, I knew I was gonna do something in media, like probably, yeah, around that time, but I couldn't do it. Like, I was so immobilized and just afraid that there was just no way to get myself going on that. So I just kind of had to, and now I'm just dabbing in some of this on my cheeks. Because we love a blush moment. Especially in the summer, and like I'm really into like the berries, all of that. So that's what we're doing here. And then we like it on the nose for me personally, not completely dragged down, but like mid and then at the tip. Okay. So yeah, so I knew one day, yeah, we were going to be doing that, but I didn't know when, and I didn't know how, and I didn't know like what the fuck. So it finally came around on its own. in May, and there just like wasn't a lot for me to do with regards to it. Like it just came through on its own. Like I didn't need to do anything. They found me. Everything like matched up and clicked, and there was like no resistance. So I actually wrote that story earlier this month about how I manifested that job. So if you're interested, you can definitely go look into that story, and I kind of get more into the nitty-gritty of what I did specifically. Okay. And then I go in with this. Okay. And then one more set of this. Okay. And then spray. Okay. So this is the final makeup look. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for my lip. Whether I want to go with like more of a natural sort of neutral pink or like a red lip. But to be honest, lately I've been feeling red, obviously. So I'm using the Kulfi liner in Chelum, and it's this like brown berry color. Fading situation. So as you can see, like my edges are like this deeper kind of berry, and then you'll see how I kind of blend that out. So this is like a very pigmented red. And with the dark liner, it just kind of gives this like faded look. Stick. So that's this look. We've got sort of this like dark fade with the red on the lips, and then, you know, the highlight of the cheeks. So let me know what you think. This is sort of how I've been doing my makeup this summer. This is my hair. This is my 3rd week of herbal rinsing, which I posted about last week, I think. I wrote my article on Renaissance, taking care of your hair in like a very like Renaissance way, where you're very nurturing to it and you're very much like protecting the ends and all of that. So that's what I've been doing, and I've noticed an extreme difference in not just my hair health, but the texture of my hair. It actually has like dramatically elongated like my curls. So you'll be getting updates on that as well. And let me know what you think about these videos, because I have been teetering with the idea of like long form video content, because I love creating videos for Instagram. I love the idea of like creating just beautiful things, but I don't see myself as a YouTuber. So I'm just kind of like, maybe I can just put these on my Substack and you guys can enjoy them if you want, and just read the Substack if you don't want. So let me know what you think. And yeah, happy day. I don't even know what day it is for you guys, but